is the difference between working with trauma.
Yeah.
So a lot of people do end up asking a little bit, well, how come these wildies don't look like the Mustangs of the States? And
genetics.
I said, I imagine it has something to do with the roundup process, because we don't scare the crap out of them.
With helicopters.
I mean, I've seen a lot of really bad stories written out in books or in a video where they just chase them down. Half of them arrive really messed up. Some break their legs, they're dead.
Yeah.
There's some really, really bad stories.
Like, it is. It's terrifying.
But here, we
try and do it as calm as possible.
Yeah.
The other thing that happens here is roundups only happen, other than if there's a problem, like they're getting into maybe an area they shouldn't.
Right.
Roundups only happen here from September to May.
Oh.
The reason for that is
Food?
September, babies are weanable for the most part. Because naturally in the wild, a horse ovulates with the sun.
Yep.
Right? So that should put the babies at an age where they are like weanable. If they were to get separated from their mom, they will survive. They stop in May because now the new babies are starting to be born. So you've got fresh babies on the ground who can easily get separated or hurt.
Right.
And extremely pregnant mares, right?
Extremely pregnant.
So
not just a little, but really
very
extremely.
pregnant. So they stop from May to September because the mares foal out, they have their babies in peace and quiet and left alone.
Yeah.
There's not somebody out there going, come here, I'm gonna take you.
Right.
Well, now she might get separated from her baby, the baby might get injured, the mom might panic because now she's separated from her new baby.
Yep. Yep.
And it just makes the whole thing more dangerous.
Yep.
And harmful for the horses.
Yep.
So they don't do it.
So this is pre-planned, the idea to
only go in at certain times.
Wow, that's really
And
good.
it's easier to do it too in the winter calmly because the feed isn't there as much.
Yeah.
So set up a big pen and you fill it full of food. You
they full
feed
of
them, they
horses.
will come.
I would imagine
They are
so.
very food motivated.
Yeah.
One of the biggest things, like, okay, the babies, for example, like they'll eat and then they'll go nap.
Yeah.
I had taken in some pregnant mares.
Yeah.
They ate me out of house and home. Oh my goodness. Around bale, which is a good 800 pounds, in a pen with a couple of horses, was gone in a day.
What?
I could not physically believe that they could eat that much. But it's because being in the wild, their brain knows there's food, eat it,
Eat it as much as you
because
can.
you might not find more.
Yeah.
And so that's a learned behavior from being on range.
Yeah.
So when they come in and they see the food, they eat it,
Gorge.
not knowing if it's gonna disappear. These guys don't quite have that ingrained in them yet.
Yeah.
They're like, I'll eat, now I'm gonna go sleep. Because
it'll
they
be
don't
there
quite
when I get back.
understand yet that it might not be there. So they don't eat quite as bad as the older stuff. The older stuff, because it knows that,
Yeah.
it will eat very gorging, like they will just gorge. They'll eat and eat and eat.
It's interesting how a survival mechanism in the horses can actually be detrimental when placed in a human environment.
As soon as we interfere.
And we can't, it takes a long time to change that. I know
Yeah.
that because we use hay bags,
Yep.
like you do.
Yep.
And try to get them to just relax. The hay will
It's
always
there.
be there. And over time.
But a lot of people, and that's the thing, a lot of people do the feed twice a day or whatever.
Yeah.
A horse's stomach naturally is meant to constantly have small amounts of food digesting.
Yeah.
Their stomachs are not meant to be empty.
No.
And that's when you get problems with ulcers and stuff like that, is
Yeah.
because horses aren't getting the continuous feed. So you notice that more.
Yeah.
Whereas getting that continuous amount of feed, the acids in their stomach aren't tearing them apart.
Yeah.
Right? And so I see that a lot with domestic horses. You see the ulcer problems and stuff like that.
Yes.
You don't see that in these guys.
Yeah.
Even though they do have periods of time where they might go without,
Yeah.
naturally their bodies respond differently
Yeah.
than a domestic horse who,
Not born with it.
Yeah.
Not born with 2 flakes in the morning, 2 flakes
Yeah.
at night. Yeah. Yeah, we follow that regime an awful lot. I couldn't agree more with you.
Yeah.